better way to announce that you will be the official judge for the unofficial Defqon.1 Anthem. Hey guys, welcome back to the second episode, and today we're gonna fine-tune what we built in the first episode in the Defqon.1 Anthem challenge. In the first episode, we really set a theme of the Defqon.1 Anthem feeling that we're trying to create, and I think for this lesson, let's create a melody to define the theme even better. And by the way, a big thank you for everyone signing up. I have received over 400 signups in the Forge, and I think it's going to be really amazing. So in today's lesson, it's going to be a little bit different because I already recorded it and everything was fine, but at the end of the recording, I came to find out that OBS didn't record my camera. So I apologize for that, but there's a lot of value in here. You'll learn how leads are built. We're going to do some proper lead stacking, routing of the leads, and how to make leads if you're a complete beginner, how to get inspiration for building a melody, and just overall we are building a very cool Defqon.1 melody anthem feeling. That being said, enjoy today's lesson. I have a very special announcement to make in the middle of the video. By the way, if you don't know who I am, my name is Neros. I've been doing music production for over 20 years. I traveled all over the world, played on Defqon 4 times, and music production is what I do every day. If you want to learn hardstyle or tempo, check the link in the description for the best music producer programs. Where do you start a melody? There's a million ways to do that. But let's say you do not have any inspiration. Everyone thinks Suno is only about creating amazing vocals, complete hardstyle melodies. But what if I told you you can get inspired really well, and the only thing you have to do is feed Suno the pads. So let's feed in the pads or any synth, to be honest with you, where the chord progression is. But make sure it is without a cutoff, and then honestly just record it in Edison. I already did that here. Now this is the vocal. Record or generate, whatever. Okay, let's export it. It should be on the timeline somewhere. And then over here we have the chord progression. Now, this is what we're going to feed into Suno. So we're going to go to Suno, and I already did that here because, yeah, obviously I'm prepared. So you load up the chord progression, and then you're just going to be like, hey, I want whatever you want, by the way. But for me, I did tribal music with a catchy melody, but the most success I had was tribal, sacred oath, mystery, bombastic. Listen to this. If you're not inspired, this will get you inspired. There's already a melody there you can use. Defqon. Defqon. So really cool. If you just want to get into the mood, and I already tell my students this every time, if you're not inspired, just listen to some music beforehand. Before you start your session, just listen to some music. Okay, so you can use this, you can download it, or honestly, when you're a little bit more advanced, you know how to make melodies. But let's say if you're a beginner, you have Suno. I just wanted to show you that you can do multiple things with Suno and not just only vocals and complete hardstyle tracks. Okay, so let's download it for reference. If we want to replicate things like drums, for example, that's something that I don't work with a lot, so I can use it as a template and build over it. All right, download file. Beautiful file name as always. Okay, then we go to FL Studio. Okay, now let's build the melody. We got inspired by this, let's say. How do you build a melody? Well, you have to lay the foundation first. What is the foundation? I'm not talking about your face foundation. No, the foundation of building a proper lead stack. And there's no right or wrong. I'm just going to show you how I do it. Okay, first off, we start by creating a lead stack. A lead stack is best described as you have to fill up the whole audio spectrum. So you have the lows, mids, highs, right? Lows for this bass, usually a Reese. Mids for choirs, pads, that kind of stuff. And then the mid-highs for just completely saws, maybe. And then the highs for the top lead, which can be 1 lead, can be 50 leads, whatever you want. There's no right or wrong. But I'm going to show you how I would do it. Also with the routing, because most beginners just put everything on routing channel. That's not the way, in my opinion, because it's kind of hard to sidechain Reverb, for example, and we're going to talk about that. Okay, so leads, let's build it. Okay, I'm gonna just make the groups first. So top to bottom, top lead. Let's give it a nice color with F2. I like red today. All right, now I'm gonna clone it because I'm lazy, and then I'm just gonna call this. Okay, so we have the top lead, and then usually I have the chord progressions, and I will have the harmonies. Harmonies should be, oh, now I renamed the layer. Harmonies on top though. Yep. And then we have pads, but we already have that. It's not really a lead stack. Bass is also not really a lead stack. So I'm just going to leave it here for now. These are the layers. So they don't do anything yet. You have to add layers to it. So for now, I'd like to start with the bottom. Why? Because we already have the chords. We have the chord progressions in the pads. So I'm going to take that, Control A, Control C, and I'm going to the harmonies now. I renamed it, but lead stack. All right. I'll make sure to share this lead stack in the description. Okay, so now we have nothing yet. We're going to add insert Serum 2. And then again, you can use any preset you want. You can use my preset pack. You can go to Splice. Honestly, it doesn't matter. I like to start with the bass foundation is usually a saw with everything I do just to get a good feeling. Saw is very clean. Okay. This is not a saw. This is the init preset. Let's browse to our saw. You can, yeah, then again, use any saw. It doesn't really matter. Splice has plenty of them. I also have a few in my preset packs. Okay. This is most saw. Now put it on a new channel. Control L. Make sure this is called Chords. And let's make this red too, because we're all very organized here, right? And let's put this here. And I'm going to take it off the main routing of the master, and I'm going to create a completely new final mix, final lead bus. And I'm going to make that yellow because why not? And I'm going to send the chord to the lead. So it's going to go to the main bus, and then that's the final output. Why? I'll tell you in a bit. Okay, so we have Serum 2. And I'm going to clone it one more time. I usually do like 2 or 3 chords. Doesn't really matter. And I'm going to put this one higher. So now we have one chord progression lower and higher. So now together it sounds like this. Let's turn that down. It sounded like this. This sounds like this. Together it sounds like this. And maybe for the highs, just change it up so you have a little bit more unique chord progression, chord. I like it. So we're going to talk about layering more. What I just did really quick, I'm going to show you why I did it, is turning the volume down. Because in lead stack layering, it is important not to just keep adding, but start with the bass foundation that you really like. And we're going to dive deeper into that with the top lead. Start with a sound you really like, and then add stuff to it, but do not add more volume. The trick is to maintain the volume, and whatever you add is going to complement the original sound. What do I mean with that? Let's say you have layer A. Sounds really good, but layer B, you want to add that, then A and B, the output is even better than just A. And that's how you should layer your leads. It has to sound better every time. And a lot of mistakes beginners make is they just add, turn it up until there's one lead, like the loudest out of all of them, and then it's just, that's not layering, that's just stacking. It's not proper layering. Okay, so we have 2 chords. And this is another beginner mistake that I see a lot, is everyone's gonna just keep on adding layers and copy pasting the melody. But let's say if you want to change the melody and you have a top lead of 6 layers, you have to adjust them all at once. So that's not happening. What you want to do is remove this, and now the layers are going to work for us. This says set children and show children, means set children, which instruments do you want to have under the layer, and show children, which current instruments are linked to that layer. Right click these 2, I want them to be on the chords. Set. Now whatever I play here is being played between these 2. I'm gonna give this a little bit name, 1, chord 2. Now let's put the progression in it. One thing you'll notice right now is that they're both on the same octave and the other one was higher. There's an easy way to solve it. You could do it in Serum 2 by transposing it. The way I like to do it is just go to, instead of Serum, go here and just, I think I already did that, right click, transposes really fast. So now we have, and you can just mess around. You could even, so you have one layer, but the separate individuals can change in octaves. Really easy. So there's no excuse not to use layers anymore. Okay, so we established the chords. Now I want to add the reverb because I want to make it a little bit more fat. And now I come back to the point where I said, hey, I don't want it to be on the master. I want everything to be in a final lead bus. Why do you want everything in a final lead bus? Because then only can you blend all the sounds together. So let's say this is harmonies, this one is harmonies, and this one is going to be a top lead, which is probably going to be the top lead, but we don't have that yet. Okay, now I want to route everything to here and take it off the master. If you do the master plus another channel, it's going to cause phasing issues because you're playing the sound twice, which means it will cancel the sound out. So remove it, boom. Now you have all these three lead elements that are going into the same bus. And the reason why that's better is not only because now everything blends together in that final bus, but you can control the reverb better, the delay better, better compression, and overall EQ. It's just easier. So it's just one bus controlling everything. Okay, so now we have the chords. Okay, and the final bus is going to have the reverb. So we're going to add the reverb to the final bus. Doesn't matter if you which reverb you want to use. Can be reverb 2, can be Valhalla, whatever you want. Doesn't really matter. What matters is that you put an EQ behind it, because in reverb there's going to be a lot of low end added to it, or high end, that you don't want to use because that will interfere with the melody itself. So something like that. We'll come back to that later. Now we need to sidechain it. What does sidechaining mean? Sidechaining means when sound A is playing and sound B is also playing, when they're playing together, you want to prioritize A over B, or the other way around. So what you hear right now is the reverb is just going to continue whatever. What I want though is, let's say the original sound is sound A. I want that to play, and B, the reverb, only play when sound A is done. So that way it's not going to sound as messy and it's still going to sound full. Right, so this is sound A, the chord. And the way you do that is, I do it with a peak controller, but you can do it with the limiter, doesn't really matter. Peak controller just registers the sound, and by registering the sound, you can put automations on it. So this is the peak controller, it doesn't do anything, it just registers the sound. But over here you can control what's linked to it. Let's link the fader of the reverb. I like to do the total bus instead of this, for example, because then also the EQ applies and stuff like that. I just like to do the full bus. Right, over here, internal controller, it will show up here. It's the peak controller final lead bus. Boom, peak, boom. Now, when you play it, you see that it ducks, but it doesn't go back up. That's because these settings are still a little bit messed up. You have to adjust them. The bass is how high the reverb is going to be, and the volume is how much it will duck or boost. So right now it's going to be the maximum of this, but it's going to duck as much as this. See? It's always going to reset. Now the tension, you can put in a slope. This is a slope. And the decay is how fast is the signal going to return to its origin state, to the bass. So let's say decay this. It's going to take 2 weeks for the signal to come back. I think at one point it will come back, but I'm not sure when. Oh, I see it coming back. And this one is completely after it. So I like to have a little bit of a fade, so it's just a matter of trying whatever sounds best for you. But we're not going to fine tune that right now because we still have to add the top lead and shit like that. Okay, speaking of top lead, let's add a top lead. But before we do that, let's check the EQ for the chords. And you want to get rid of frequencies that you don't use in lead processing, but in music production in general. I'm gonna turn this one down. It's a little bit too high pitched for me. A little more body. Okay, I am going to clone that saw one more time, and I'm going to put it under the children to fill up a little bit of a void in the mids. One more higher. Turn it down. That looks good. That's a solid foundation for chord progression. Okay, now to get a better feeling, I would say you can use the top lead, but maybe if you add a Reese bass to it, it will fill up that void even more and you get better in the mood, right? So also you can do it with Serum, doesn't really matter, potato, potato, all VSTs offer a bass, a Reese bass, stuff like that, or you can make one from scratch. All right, so we already established the bass line because that was what we did with the violins. All right, so here we go. And back to the lead stack. And this is going to be the Reese. I'm gonna give that a different color too. F2, 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 F2. Beautiful green. Okay, put it in here. And then find the Reese. Oh. Okay. Let's turn it up a few octaves. 1 octave, okay. Control up, by the way, FL Studio. I like it, but there's too much movement in it, which I don't like. Also, like to stay to 1 oscillator. Okay. There's a pitch somewhere. Okay. Nice. Yeah, I didn't like that. Okay, this sounds good for now. Let's filter something away. So Control L, and the Reese bass doesn't need much high frequencies. So let's for now, this is fine. We'll go back to it later. Okay, so now we have this. All right, we're getting in the mood. Now the most important part. How do you create a top lead? The hardest part. Not per se, but creating the melody that's memorable is the hardest part for sure. All right, so we have the top lead here, but we have nothing under it. So insert Serum 2. And yeah, like I said, I usually start with a saw. That's the basic foundation of a lead. So let's do that again, but let's go to splice. Maybe there's another sound that we like. Let's put it under the top lead first. Okay. Put it under here, top lead. Top lead. All right, that's settled. I like to remove the reverb from the VST itself so I can control it better. That's my preference. Okay. So now we have this. Okay, cool. Now, what do we have? Chords. Right, now we have to define, hey, sorry to interrupt, but I got a very special announcement to make because I've added an official Red Race contestant to the Defqon.1 Anthem challenge. Let's find out who it is. The one and only Testarrosa. Welcome to the show.
Thank you.
Yes, man. How are you doing, man? Yeah, of course. How are you doing?
I'm doing great, man. It's going super well with everything, so I'm happy. How are you?
I'm doing fantastic, man. And I just gotta say, I was really impressed with the second episode of the Red Race, and obviously the moment where Brandon Hart got goosebumps from your track must be very memorable to you. What did it do to you at that moment?
Yeah, it is not the same words, you know. It is so insane. It was like a dream. I showed him the track. The guys before had some crazy feedback, and I was just since then it's just been crazy, man. All the reactions, all the hundreds of comments. I had so many people telling me that I'm doing a good job with this track.
Yeah.
And yeah, I'm so happy that now with the Red Race everything seems to come together. It's going great now, so I'm happy.
Yeah, well, I'm happy for you too, man. Look, the production quality is there. I think you're going to do fantastic. And what better way to announce that you will be the official judge for the unofficial Defqon.1 Anthem challenge. I'm really excited to have you on board, not only for the hardstyle part, but also for the uptempo part. So I think a lot of people will be really excited about that. And make sure to drop a follow for Testarrosa and follow him on the Red Race. And bro, I wish you all the best, and we vouch for you, at least I do. And we can't wait to see more from you in the Red Race. Where is our melody gonna start? Okay, so the easy way is to keep the chords in the same layer, so the ghost notes in FL Studio. So that way you can just click whatever you want. Can't miss, right? You can't go wrong with that. That's the very easy way. Well, we're here to learn, and I'm going to show you the easy way. So an even easier way is to duplicate it, Control up. Now you have 2 octaves that you can mess around with. So now your reach is better. Okay, easy, right? And if you want, you can also put it down an octave for even more reach if your CPU handles it. Yeah, I think there's one that needs more polyphony. Yep. Okay, let's turn this one down. Yeah, it's getting a little bit crazy because we stack so many layers. You don't have to do that in your chords, but for if you want to make a melody, it's easy. Now, the top lead. We only have 1 layer. We're gonna turn the chords down. We're gonna find a melody that we like, and we're just gonna focus on the long notes, right? Okay. Defqon Anthem has to be uplifting. Uplifting means from bottom to the top. So I think that our melody should look something like from going up to down, just finding the right notes to do that. Something like that, all right? Okay, now we need to work on our top lead, and you can establish the top lead first if you want, that's fine. Right now we didn't do that, so we're gonna do it right now, and we're just gonna clone like a few of them, and we're gonna put them all under the children, and then we're gonna work one by one. So this one was the bass foundation, very basic, maybe needs more body. All right, let's take that as the base. Okay, so this sounds good. So with lead layering, the next one has to sound better with the previous one. Okay, let's move on. Let's browse through the presets. And the way you blend in better is to lower the volume, not by adding volume. Lowering beats increasing volume anytime. Okay, let's turn off the chords really quick. Okay, I like the screaming effect of it. I like it. Subtle scream in it. Okay, cool. Let's clone it again and move on. Very sawy, could be good. Not too basic. So let's go to my presets. You can use the over here too if you want, but it doesn't really matter. So many choices. Very plucky. I think the melody's going to be short, so you want it to have be a little bit more plucky, okay? So what do I mean with that? A lot of attack on the transient. All right, moving on. Now I need a little bit more body. It sounds a little bit thin, okay? So I'm going to focus on a lower octave. Different sound. Let's go back to my presets. How about this one? This one could be good lower. This one is annoying me. Okay. Pretty cool. One more. And then we're gonna design the melody, because right now it's just long notes. It doesn't say anything. It doesn't mean anything. There's no feeling to it, to be honest. Okay, and yeah, one more. Not bad. Now let's remove some low end. And for the snappiness, I like to use a little bit of OTT, multi-band compression, usually not more than 20%. See how much signal is coming into the main bus, because the top lead is way too loud. So we need to turn that down. For now, I'm going to add a little bit of delay to the bus of the lead, just to get a little bit of better feeling to it. All right, altogether it sounds like this now. Turn up the lead. Not bad. All right, so now we have build the basic lead stack, and you can make it as complicated as you want. You can route it 50 more times, doesn't matter. But truth is, we have a decent sounding lead right now. We didn't do any compression, stereo imaging, saturation, shit like that. I'm just gonna focus on how can we build our leads. Okay, so now let's see if we can get a feeling about a melody in our head. Maybe we need to go to this. Oh, I love choir so much. All right, let's see if we can get a feeling. Oh, it's automation is still.
To the realm, to protect, dedicate, and celebrate, we swear to ourself, Defqon.1. This is the sacred oath.
All right, so I already don't like the key of that, so we're gonna change all of that. All right, so let's see what sounds a little bit off. I think the whole bus needs to be louder.
The sacred oath.
Okay, melody time, guys. Da, 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 da. Almost. Da, 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 da. Oh. Oh. Not bad, not bad, not bad, not bad. Very plucky, I like that. You want something that's memorable and easy to sing along. So, something like that, right? We're gonna fine tune it, but I already like it. I want to give the lead a little bit more reverb. Turn the chords down. More reverb. I think I'm gonna give the top lead a separate reverb, just because I feel like the chords is taking up too much of the peak controller. So we're gonna give the top lead a separate. You can honestly just, this is a small trick, right click, file, save, but hold, click and drag and drop it here. Boom, it's duplicated. You're welcome. Okay. This one is going to be off the main bus then, in this case, back to the main routing. And put a P controller in the first one. Like I said, guys, sometimes you have to adjust, and that's completely fine, the way you think it will sound better. So separate reverb for the top lead, all good. Link this one to the reverb that we just, to the P controller that we just added. Right? Okay, let's fine tune that melody. I'm feeling it, guys. I am feeling it. This sounds really cool. All right, let's get a better feeling of it.
One. This is the sacred oath.
right? So this part I think is solid. Maybe this one lower. Hey, not bad. But I'm not sure if we should do that already after 4 bars. It has to be repetitive, right? So let's check it again. No, it has to be like this. And then the second part has to change, and then after 16 bars we can do that lower part. It was too quick. It was cool, but it's too quick. You need to need to get familiar with your melody. Okay, so this part is gonna go down, I think. Like this. Can we use this note? Okay, it sounds really good right now, but let's see how we can make it a little bit more epic. It's good, but we need to make it epic, like the Defqon.1 Anthem is. All right. Yeah, that sounds more Defqon, I think. Interesting. It's not in the chord progression. Oh, it is here though. I wish I studied musical theory, guys. I'm just doing everything based off hearing. I like that ending. I think the ending is perfect. I think the melody as it is, guys, is amazing right now. Okay, let's fine tune it to make it sound epic. All right, so most of you signed up in the Forge, and we have a harmony creator right here, and we're gonna export the top lead melody, file export as MIDI top lead, boom. Click and drag that into the Forge, and let's create some harmonies, third above. Create harmony, right? Download top lead. If you're lazy and you don't know how harmonies work, then just put it in the Forge. Now, the harmonies are going to be right here. And let's add a layer. It doesn't have to be in a very complicated sound, just a lead. A sawy lead would be enough. Again, it can be anything. Let's do something different. Definitely not that. Right, harmonies, and click and drag. Boom. Right, let's listen to it. Set it down in octave. Together. Together. Four. Nice. All right, harmonies on a separate channel right here, and remove some low end. I think I heard some low end in the leads. And how would this sound if it was a uptempo hardcore melody? Oh, let's see.
1, 1, 1, 1. This is the sacred oath.
Not bad. I think we really established a good theme for the Defqon.1 Anthem. Obviously, it's not finished, but I think showing you the way I process my leads in a very beginner-friendly way is going to help you to build melodies that are a little bit more memorable. And let's say you don't have any inspiration, what tools you can use. All right, obviously, it's not finished yet, but for this one, I think we've established enough to set a good foundation to create tension for the build-up in the next lesson. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one.